Alright, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Ceasefire from 1953. It's kind of like a Mondo flick of the Korean War. Supposedly some dude actually got snuffed in this, and all the actors are real soldiers leading up to the day of this ceasefire. That didn't make it that realistic to me. I looked up a review on IMDb. I saw that it was a lot more hellish than what was described in this video. This movie is pretty much war propaganda. They call Chinese people chinks, as John McCain used to call his North Vietnamese captors gooks, which is a racial slur against Vietnamese and Chinese. So I didn't really care for that. There's a hot-looking one of the soldiers' wife looks hot to me in this. That's what I did like about it. I thought the ending was pretty good, pretty realistic with the fight scene there. But the whole ceasefire was bullshit. I mean, there was no peace in North Korea. There's, to this day, like 60 years later, I mean, the North Koreans have been enslaved under communism. They're starving to death, eating tree bark, basically. They have no electricity. Basically, they've been living in the Stone Age for the last 65 years or so. And at the border of North Korea and South Korea, the two sides just stare at each other. My cousin did a tour in South Korea. I guess it's safer to tour there, but the question is, why is there a friggin' military base there in the first place? I mean, this is what Eisenhower warned about, the military-industrial complex. Nobody paid attention to him. So we got bases all over the world for no apparent reason. I bet you if there were no bases in South Korea, North and South would be reunited now, and they wouldn't be having that starvation problem. I mean, look at what happened with East and West Germany. Communism pretty much fell under its own accord. Reagan just let it fall. And it was bound to fall. So, the whole military intervention was unnecessary. I mean, the communists were not a threat to our way of life. We're trading with them now. We have open door policy with both Vietnam and China. And I was talking to a war vet from Korea last year. He said the Korean War was like hell. I mean, people were dying from frostbite, and they all would have died if MacArthur hadn't launched napalm to save them. I mean, MacArthur didn't really do anything. He was just sort of directing traffic, but he did save their lives. And I guess he was fighting with Harry Truman. So this war apparently lasted for 3 years and resulted in the United States losing one of many wars that they would lose after World War II. I don't know how else to describe it. I mean, the dialogue is pretty bad. These are not professional actors. These are soldiers pretending to be actors. So there's that element. It's quite boring, actually, for the first, I don't know, 50 minutes or so, before the final battle, before the ceasefire. I don't know what else to say about this. I gave it 2 stars. I didn't like it. I didn't think it was realistic enough, even with the soldiers and the dude getting snuffed. And the final battle scene, that really wasn't enough for me. I mean, Hollywood tries to glamorize war like it's something cool, like your buddy gets shot and you help him up, that kind of thing. In reality, these guys were probably tripping over dead bodies the whole time, scared to death, wondering what the hell they were doing there. There is a little bit of that when they celebrate the ceasefire, and then wondering when the war's going to end, when they can go home, that kind of thing. But I don't know. I just really couldn't get into this movie. I thought it could have been better. It held promise, but it was just a sign of the times where Americans were just in love with war after World War II. I mean, we've pretty much been in war since World War II. And plus, we got bases all over the globe for the last 65, 70 years, so I don't know. This is kind of like a celebration of U.S. imperialism. I couldn't really get into it later.